Davion Franklin is my next guest as he gets ready to face Ras Hylton next Saturday at Bellator 246. Davion, how are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate the time. And wow, after that impressive debut win back in February earlier this year, here you are, your second fight for the promotion. When did you find out about this fight with Ras?
A couple weeks ago. Not too long ago.
And I got to imagine that, I mean, you've been in.
Actually, no. But probably about a month and a half ago. Now that I think about it. Early August, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you've been in camp regardless, right? I mean, what has, I guess, training been like for you throughout this pandemic? I know it's been a little different for everyone.
It never stopped. It never stopped. No.
Did Jackson Wink ever take the shut down at all, or take any precautions? Or?
They shut down to they couldn't have group classes, but I have my own apartment inside the gym, so I just have more one-on-one time with my coaches, which is what I like. You know what I mean? So, but it never stopped for me. I've just been staying ready, staying hungry.
For sure. As far as the training partners and the guys you normally get working with, has it been a little bit different them coming in, or has that been pretty much seamless as well?
But the same. Nothing's really changed. Nothing's changed. There's new guys who comes through the gym and whatever, but nothing's really changed.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear, and I'm sure that'll translate into your performance here next weekend.
You know it. You absolutely, you know it, bro. You ain't even got to say it.
I do want to ask, about how you got into MMA, because I understand you were a wrestler. That's where your background is, and according to Tapology, you never even had any amateur fights. You went straight into the pro ranks. When did you decide to make this transition into MMA?
Yeah, I wrestled, but I also was a collegiate football player too, and I was football was probably wrestling and football was my top sports in high school and college, but MMA was definitely the sport I needed to do just to utilize my skill set. Even though it didn't matter how athletic I was, trying to adapt to football at a collegiate level was very hard for me. It was very difficult for me, even though I was literally the most athletic guy on my team by far. But it was hard for me. So in wrestling, I was just naturally talented at it, but I didn't have the passion for it. The passion burnt out once I got to the college level. I just kind of burnt out from it. And I was just like, shit, I still got all this athletic ability. And I've been thinking about doing MMA since I was a senior in high school, but I just never pulled the trigger and did it. And 1 second. Yo, can you make sure that this dog is quiet? My dog is Bart is being annoying and stuff.
No worries.
But anyway, just fighting, it brings a certain amount of glory, but it also brings a certain amount of respect. You know what I mean? It's a professional sport. Mixed martial arts is a professional sport, and I'm too talented to not be a professional athlete. So definitely had to get into MMA before it was too late. There's my mentor used to always tell me that you don't ever want the windows of opportunity to close on you, but the older you get, the more the windows shut. So I just had to, like I said, it's been in the back of my mind since I was 18. I just turned 26 a couple months ago. I pulled the trigger when I was 24, and you see how things turned out.
What position did you play in football? In
high school, I was a running back. In college, I was a defensive end and linebacker, but they were trying to. But since I wasn't really excelling in linebacker, they were trying to move me to running back or whatever. But at that point, at that time I was just so full of myself. I was 19. I had just wrestled my first year of college. I'm literally the athlete who just took everything for granted. Honestly, bro. I really had everything handed to me on a platter. I just took it for granted, and I had to not have it for a while and struggle for a while, and be brought to my knees to appreciate it. So, but you got to think. What was your question again? My bad. I was gonna start rambling.
No worries. I was just asking about the position you played. You said running back.
Oh, I played running. Yeah, I played running back. Yep, running back, and linebacker and defensive end.
Now, were you a fullback or a tailback? Because those are two.
Tailback. I ran a 4.5 at 260.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I can still run a 4.5. I'm still pretty fast.
Who do you think's the best running back in the NFL today?
I don't know who the best is, but I'll tell you who my favorite is. Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. I think I could show you who my favorite of all time is. You'll be able to see him if I go like right up there in the corner.
Oh, Sanders.
Yeah, Barry Sanders. Yes, sir. He's the
You
GOAT,
know,
in my opinion.
it's just weird because like I have a favorite running back of all time, but I don't want to say it because I don't want people to think I stole his nickname because one of his nicknames is my nickname.
AP?
Yeah.
Okay, I know where you're going.
That was that was my dude. That was my dude. I love Adrian Peterson. That was my favorite athlete. I wanted to be just like him, and but like I said, I was stuck up. I could have. Like I really feel like I mean, who knows like what kind of opportunities fighting is gonna bring me, you know what I'm saying? But I only want to focus on fighting. But I had mentors who were like in the NFL that I just let down. Like I said, I wrestled my first year of college, I was a national qualifier, made it to the national tournament. I wasn't really motivated, but then at that same tournament, one of my teammates won the national tournament, and all people were talking about was me because in that tournament I got recruited by the WWE. You know, so like I was on the posters and everything. And like I said, I just let it all go to my head. So like I got the WWE gunning after me, and then I also had like collegiate football coaches trying to get me to play with them. So like you could just see like a 19-year-old kid who didn't have a whole lot of guidance where my head was at. I was just like, shit. One thing doesn't work out, something's always gonna work out for me. You know what I mean? That was my mentality, and I just made like a lot of impulsive decisions. Like if stuff wasn't going my way, I'd be like, you know what? Well, I can go play football, or I can go be a professional wrestler. I just got it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just let it all go to my head. And once I exhausted all my opportunities, all my options, I got to live in the real world from age 20 to 24 and just see like, without you having like a stamp behind you, like I'm an athlete or something like that, how people treat you, they treat you different, you know? And, so now getting back into MMA and I excelled at MMA, I have a different mentality. Like I'm still the same athlete. I'm still like a fucking animal, but and I'm very confident, but I appreciate this opportunity much more than I ever appreciated anything in my life. So I take this very serious.
For sure. Now, I got to imagine, I mean, training at Jackson Wink, John, a lot of people say that's the best gym in the world. That had to have at least humbled you a little bit. I mean, going against guys like Jon Jones every day really has got to probably keep things into perspective as you move forward in your career. Tell me what that's been like.
Yeah, I honestly don't train with Jon Jones every day. Like, I don't know why people think that, but I don't train with him every day, honestly. Like, but just to see Jon Jones train and see him in the flesh and see him just get busy, like that's it's inspirational because, you know, I'm not in this just to make a lot of money. I'm in here to be the greatest heavyweight of all time. And I think I can say that because not too many people could have their first fight in a major promotion and dominate like I did. And I know I'm going to dominate again. That's just what I do. I've always been the same kind of athlete. So I don't know. It's very inspirational to see Jon Jones for sure. Because I just know like he has the same mentality that I've adapted.
Has anybody ever told you that your voice kind of sounds a little similar to his?
I don't know how to take that as like is that I don't know how to take that actually.
That's a compliment. He's one of the greatest of all time, right?
Yeah, but I have my own personality. I'm nothing like Jon Jones.
Right. Well, just the voice. There's some
Okay.
similarities. That's all I'm saying. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about that debut fight, man. Round 1 win. Looked very impressive. A little ground and pound action there. Did that fight play out the way you expected it to? And are you disappointed that you couldn't get him out of there even sooner than you did?
I mean, it took 100 seconds. I don't really know like how sooner I could have done it. Like, you know, I definitely, I'm not someone who like, oh, I got to knock him out in the first round. I like first round finishes for sure, but you know, my name is all day, so I feel like I try to condition myself mentally and physically to go all day, and that's where that comes from. But I mean, it's 100 seconds. You know, it took me literally to count down from 100. He's out. It went exactly how I expected it to be. I mean, I there's things I would have liked to do, but there's like different outcomes I play in my mind of how the fight's gonna go, and that was one of the outcomes that I played out in my mind. So it went exactly how I expected. I literally called it. I said this is gonna be a first round finish. Just like no disrespect to Ras Hylton, I know he's a great guy. It's gonna be no different.
You know, that fight in February was in front of fans. I mean, it was, you know, what normal MMA fights are like, but this obviously is going to be very different because of the pandemic. There won't be any fans there. It's going to be very
I don't care. I
yeah.
don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm television. I'm focused, homie.
Do you get kind of more amped up and in your element when you do hear the screaming fans in the arena, or do you feel like it's just not going to make a difference?
It doesn't make a difference, man. Like, I just feel like I'm too headstrong for that. That doesn't affect me. I've been a lifelong athlete. I've been in sports for a long, like, you know what I'm saying? I've been a competitor. And I've always been the dominant athlete. That's why it was weird to come to Jackson Wink with my mentality and know, like, oh shit, the greatest of all time is here. You know what I mean? I better fall in line. You know what I'm saying? But this is who I am. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm cold-blooded, homie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, what is your current contractual situation right now with Bellator?
I have 4 fights to Bellator.
4 fights. And do you envision yourself before that contract is up, you know, maybe getting a shot at a #1 contendership bout or a title shot? Do you feel like you'll be there that soon, or is it gonna take a little bit longer?
I don't know. I mean, shit. There's like heavyweights who come in and they're fighting like 1-0 guys, 0-1, 0-2, like guys who have less than 3 fights. I came in and fought a guy who's had 7 fights. Now I'm fighting a guy who has 10 fights. I think my path is I feel like I'm on a fast track. I feel like, you know what I mean. But at the same time, like, I'm not worried about all that because I'm still young. And on top of that, bro, I'm just focused on dominating and having one of a kind performances.
When you look at the heavyweights on the Bellator roster, I mean, who excites you? Like, who do you feel
Nobody.
like?
Me.
Nobody.
I excite me. No one else excites me.
Outside of Bellator, how do you feel like you stack up with heavyweights in the UFC, for example?
My training partners are in the UFC. I think Maurice Green is ranked now, isn't he? I think Maurice Green is ranked. You know what I mean? I have, like, he's a ranked UFC heavyweight. We have Jon Jones. We have Juan, was just in the UFC. I'm pretty sure he'll be back in the UFC. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, John, like, dude, we have like so many guys in the UFC who comes to this gym, like, and I shine, homie. I shine.
So has Mo and Juan, have they been like your main guys this camp?
Well, Juan. I mean, Maurice, he kind of was, but yeah, Maurice, Christian Edwards, just because, like, my opponent is kind of tall, and Juan's a wrestler. My opponent, he's not really a wrestler, so I just kind of like he Ras Hylton literally reminds me of Maurice Green a little bit, with the fighting styles a little bit.
I can see that. Yeah, that's very similar. That's a good comparison. Who will be making the trip with you to Mohegan Sun and to be in your corner come fight night?
Coach Jackson, Coach Wink. No. Coach Jackson, my coach Alex, and Pride and Strike Force competitor, Coach Joey Villasenor. Those are gonna be my corner. And Coach Alex, he's my Muay Thai striking coach.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw you thanked him in a picture on Instagram recently. I saw.
Yeah, man, that's my dude. That's my dude. I was working with him before Jon Jones was working with him.
Okay.
Jon Jones is just the biggest client right now.
That's awesome. I know we're all excited for this big matchup with Ras. As far as the testing goes, have they told you a little bit about what that's going to be like? How many times you're going to have to get tested before you're
two more times or something like that? I think that's what they said. I think that's what they said. Yeah.
And you're obviously going to have to quarantine in your room once you get there, correct?
No worries. I don't really care about that. Like I said, man, I'm focused on the outcome. I'm outcome driven. I'm very outcome driven, and yeah. So I'm not really whatever I got to do.
What do you typically walk around at as far as your weight goes?
It ranges, man. Like, I could be 255 to 270. It's usually at 15 pounds. And when I'm like unhealthy, probably like not unhealthy, but like when I'm just like just kind of like not really not training hard, it's 270, 255 to 270, which is literally in that range. It just fluctuates.
Okay. Do you feel better when you're lighter versus when you're bigger? I mean, can you tell a difference, like in your cardio when you're...
Yeah, I mean, ideally for this fight, I like to be around 260. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't have a lot of fat on me. Like, I just have a lot of muscle. Like my muscle weighs a lot, so it's just like I don't want to get too small because then I'll feel weak. But then if I get too big, I feel kind of like slow and sluggish sometimes. So 260, that's like the perfect weight for me.
How tall are you?
6'3".
6'3". Okay, so Raz is, I believe, he's 6'6", so that's not too much of a difference. You talk about, Maurice and Juan, and they're big guys. I mean, they're very comparable to Raz's size. How do you feel like having them in your camp, getting you ready for someone as tall and as long as Raz, will benefit you here for this fight?
It's just one. I mean, not one. Just Ras Hylton's not a wrestler. You know, it's just like it's not really about wrestling, but it's just like you gotta understand. Like I work on my striking every day, multiple times a day. Because when I came into MMA, I didn't have any striking. So I just feel like that's all I worked on. The wrestling is always going to be there. So it's just like I know where my striking is or whatever. So I'm not going to make any comparisons. But wrestling and athletic wise and just pure physicality, me and that guy is unmatched. Mm-hmm. No matter how many fights this guy has. Mark my words, I'm going to run through the Bellator heavyweight roster. I'm telling you. I'm the youngest, biggest, fastest, strongest guy they have right now.
Clearly, when you look at Raz's skill set, I mean, he's a striker. As you said, I mean, if there is a weak part of his game, it's probably his takedown defense. You've seen that, I guess, in previous fights. Do you kind of fancy yourself like wanting to test your hands out here in this fight and maybe beat him at his own game? Or do you plan on, just really taking him down the ground?
Repeat one more. Well, repeat that. My manager had just called me one more time. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, Raz clearly has some very good striking, and, you come from a wrestling background. Do you feel like you want to test yourself against him on the feet here, or do you plan to just kind of take him down into your world as quickly as possible?
Man, it doesn't matter my world. It's not my world. The whole cage is my world. Like that's the thing. I don't got to take him down and wrestle. I'm going to do what I want. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Like wherever this fight goes, I'm going to beat him.
So do you feel like you'll be able to get the better than him on the feet, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Because he does. You say he's a good striker, but his last fight in Bellator, he literally just he got dropped, and only how he won the fight is he's timid. He doesn't he was running away from Rudy Shafroth the whole time, and Rudy Shafroth was he was tired as shit. What are you gonna do when there's a guy who has just as good cardio, who's bigger than you, well weight wise, and faster than you and quicker? I watched all his fights. I'm not like anyone he's ever faced. And so it's just like, no disrespect, but this is a sport. We're competitors. I do show my sportsmanship, and I respect Ras Hylton the utmost. But this is just business, man. So.
What's your prediction?
My prediction? First round finish, of course.
First round finish. Do you see it being a knockout or a sub?
I don't know. Like whatever he gives me, I'm not gonna like. One thing about me, I don't rush anything. Whatever he gives me, I'm gonna take it and do my thing.
And so you stay healthy after this fight. You're ready to go. How quickly do you want to get back in there? Like, what are you hoping
next week? If I put him away and don't sustain no kind of soreness, no kind of injuries, why can't I fight on the next card? I just feel like people are always just like, oh, you only got one fight, you only got 2 fights. Well, shit, give me more fights so I can get these wins up, get this record up, so people can shut the fuck up. So people can shut up. I apologize for swearing. Okay, but you know,
I know you're not looking past Ras clearly, but like,
no, I'm not looking past Ras. Ras has my full attention. That's my biggest obstacle right now. That's all I'm focused on.
I guess my follow-up question to that would be, if you do get this win, like you say you're going to, and you seem very confident that you will.
I mean, he says the same thing.
What's that?
I mean, I see him on Instagram. He thinks he's gonna beat me too, and I like that.
Of course, yeah. I guess what I'm curious about is like, what other heavyweights do you think make sense? If you do get this win, is there someone else that you feel like would be a good fight next up for you?
Well, yeah. Dude, I mean, honestly, like I'm not looking past Ras Hylton, but after Ras Hylton's last fight, he said he's not ready for Ryan Bader. All right, dude. I mean, I know my talent. Maybe no one else knows my talent yet. Bellator sees it a little bit, but no one knows yet, right? I'm ready for it. I feel like I can take Ryan Bader right now. That's how I really feel. So honestly, like whatever Bellator throws at me, but I don't think they're just gonna throw me bums, because they're like I haven't started off fighting bums, you know. So I just feel like I don't know. I feel like Rudy Shafrost was supposed to beat Ras Hylton in that last fight, and he didn't. And Rudy Shafrost was ranked, I think, wasn't he? I think he was ranked, and he was one of the heavyweights they were trying to build up. So I go out there and I beat Ras Hylton. It just makes sense for me to fight Tim Johnson next. That's what I want to fight next.
I like that. I actually like that. That makes a lot of sense. And he looked good in his last fight, beating Mitch Rion. So that would be a very good one.
Hey, yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, listen, I can't wait to see your second fight next weekend at the Mohegan Sun. Like I told you earlier.
What's that sign? That's that saying called? Hey, they game, he game, we game, but we are not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got just sit back and enjoy the show, man. It's my second fight ever. By my third or fourth fight, I'm probably gonna be in the main card. That's unheard of. This whole path is unheard of. Just enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. And I'm gonna enjoy putting on dominant performances. That's my thing. That's what I like to do. So,
well, again, man, after what you did at Bellator 239, I'm stoked to see you get back in the cage. Can't wait for next weekend to get here. Bellator 246 on Saturday at the Mohegan Sun. Again, Davion, I appreciate the time. Before I let you go, if there's anyone you want to thank or any sponsors that you have, the floor is yours.
I want to thank Coach Wink. I want to thank Coach Jackson. I want to thank Coach Joey Villasenor, and I want to thank my striking coach, my Muay Thai coach, Coach Alex. Those guys put so much effort into me, and my manager as well. Like, they make all this happen. They're the ones who behind me. They're my machine. And no, honestly, I don't even have any sponsors. I don't even want any sponsors. I don't want sponsors right now. I want endorsements. So I feel like I'm the kind of athlete who should have endorsements. So after my last fight, I had like 7 guys reach out to me and said they wanted to sponsor me, and then they all kind of ghosting me kind of, and I'm just like, they just don't know. You know what I mean? They don't know what they're dealing with. Like, they don't know what the caliber athlete they're dealing with. So I don't even blame them, but I don't even want any sponsors. So I'm just like, I'm living. I'm set up here. Keep fighting, keep dominating. The world's gonna keep opening up for me. So.
Well, I know you have that next step next Saturday to show the world what you're going to be doing. So again, I'm looking forward to it, my man, and I appreciate the time.
Yeah, man, and Ras Hylton, man. Like, I know he's coming to fight, man. This is a big opportunity for him too. Like, hey, he said it was his dream to fight in Bellator, you know. So, we're gonna see what's up. Either way, I expect to be impressive.